My Hero Acacia is an anime that I've watched over the summer for one reason and one reason only. It's really popular right now. The show has many memorable characters such as Sir Dies-a-Lot, anger issues, tuberculosis, porn, more porn, the actually competent one, even more porn, the Great Divide, hardening, the most relatable one, perverted grapes, Radiohead, keep your hands to yourself, insufficient protection. What the fuck? And what does this character do again? I don't know, I've only seen season 1. My Hero Academia can be summarized in one word: fun. It's a fun show. It obviously doesn't take itself too seriously. Its mood is usually as ridiculous as the powers. Of course there's dramatic and serious moments as well, but it's exceptionally balanced, unlike some other shows.
Sometimes, when I feel the darkness, it feels good.
I actually get enjoyment from seeing these unstable teenagers screw around with their powers and their weaknesses. It's like watching a bunch of internet OCs that aren't completely terrible interact. In this universe, people with amazing abilities just start to exist, and everyone just kind of accepts it. Deku is born without a quirk, which just means superpower. Now when I first heard about quirks, I was like, oh god. But to my surprise, it wasn't as annoying as I thought it would be. Deku meets All Might, who reveals that he has this quirk called All for One or something. This quirk also comes with the ability to have black shading on some part of your face and body, no matter the lighting conditions. He also got injured from some bad guy, so he can only be in his All Might form for a limited amount of time. Deku consumes his hair and gets his powers after training his body to become a suitable vessel. He goes to this academy for heroes, and from there he has to learn to control these powers and not kill himself every time he uses them, as well as gaining new friends and all that crap along the way. Also, this guy named Bakugo hates him for being a nerd or something. There's very prominent themes of heroism and overcoming challenges. It's a bit cliched, but it's still somewhat engaging. While watching the first season, I was entertained, but in the back of my mind, I also started to think about how some of this didn't make much sense. So of course, since there are superheroes, there must also be supervillains, who terrorize the public on a daily basis. I can't be the only one who thinks that pouring millions of dollars into training hormonal and mentally unstable teenagers to fight people in a program that uses several fake cities and giant robots that are destroyed every time they do a test, as well as occasionally mutilating children as a result, instead of investing money into science and technology to just make people not walking weapons in the first place, is a bad idea. I mean, they already have someone who can erase quirks. Doesn't that prove it's possible in some way? They should have tests on Eraserhead going on all the time. Clearly science and technology has not been thrown out the window. Maybe they do have a research area that's trying to figure this out, and this is their only solution for now. Also, back to the robot thing. They have giant robots, and they only use them for training exercises? What? Sure, the smaller ones weren't that effective, but that big one seemed to intimidate everyone. I don't know, maybe a robotics program might be useful? You don't have to risk the lives of children. Also in this scene, why doesn't Deku just smash the rock, or simply move it, and carry Ochako Araka Raka Chaka Chaka to safety, instead of almost killing himself? Whatever. Really, in the end, you can make up any kind of excuse to why certain things work in a certain way, because it's fiction, and it doesn't really detract from the story. So I'm just kind of wasting time, but it's kind of fun to talk about. If you want to explain why something I've said here is wrong, or there's some deeper lore, please be my guest. It might be interesting to learn more. Some characters for this universe have direct powers and weaknesses, like Gravity Girl's nausea, which I'm sure is someone's fetish. Deku's jelly limbs, which I'm sure is someone's fetish. Frog Lady doesn't really have a weakness, from what I know. Maybe being a frog is both the power and the weakness? A social weakness? I mean, you're a frog. Those aren't taken too kindly to nowadays. Let's talk about Deku, who will deck you if he wants. He cries a lot, and I mean a lot. I get he's an emotional boy, but good lord, eventually you have to run out of tears. His character is interesting enough. I find it hilarious how he turns into a Muppet every time he tries to be heroic. In fact, most of the characters are interesting, even in small amounts. That's probably one of the greatest strengths of My Hero Academia. The art style as well stands out. I haven't seen that many animes yet, but I find the way the art style kind of shifts and changes slightly depending on what is happening to be pretty unique, with the emphasis on black lines in some scenes, and the drastic contrast between All Might and the rest of the environment, not only in his body, but also in the shading. They aren't drastic changes, but they're effective. I kind of wish there was more of it. It makes the animation more special. Now, on a completely unrelated note, whenever this song starts up, My Hero, I keep thinking it's the beginning of Ocean Man.
Ocean Man, take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand.
Let's go into a segment I like to call Expectations. Here are things I expected before watching this show. Annoying flashbacks. An intro where characters fly in the sky and punch at nothing. A small boy who becomes a swole boy, yelling and grunting. Here are things I did not expect. Fake news. Body horror. The show pretty much asking people to make porn of their characters. I don't watch that much anime because I find it kind of annoying. But I'm happy to say that My Hero Academia is not nearly as annoying as I thought it'd be. Well, except for this character. Mineta can take a diamond pickaxe to the face. And also flashbacks. There's so many flashbacks, oh my god. I know this is a trope in anime, but the story isn't really that complicated. The villains in the last couple of episodes were mildly interesting, but only mildly. Once the season ended, I wasn't really excited to see what would happen next. I was just kind of indifferent. I mean, it was fun, and I got enjoyment, but I just couldn't get invested enough. It's pretty much a bunch of internet OCs that interact, punch things, and explore a few themes, but it doesn't really go deeper than that. Maybe in later episodes it does get deeper into other things, I don't know. But I will say I understand why this show is so popular. It's a ship and OC machine. You have plenty of cute anime women and nem. You have all kinds of characters with unique superpowers, which makes people want to make their own characters. And you have a story that's enjoyable. Of course it's gonna be popular. Well, that's about it. I mean, I like it. It may not be my favorite thing, but oh well. I'm probably going to do a browsing DeviantArt on this show later, but that probably won't happen for a while. And I thought, well, I'm watching this show, I might as well make a video on it. If you want to see more, please tell me. Anyway, my name is Solar Sands, and goodbye.